Do good women still exist? In fact, what's a good woman? Nowadays, most women think it's okay to fuck their way through their 20s, then become a fake, born-again virgin and settle with some poor guy in the end. Most men are just wising up and have no interest in committing to someone that everyone else has had for free. Unless you're a real virgin and want to be with only one guy, you're not a good woman.
How tall does a man have to be to get with you?
6'2". 6 foot.
6 foot minimum.
At least 6 foot. Something to be under 6 foot.
What height is too short for a guy?
Anything under 6'5".
How much money does a guy need to date you?
About like 100K. 100,000. At least 100K a month. 200,000 a month.
Probably well over 400K.
500 grand at the least on the figures.
Like $1 million, $2 million. The mills.
Minimum £1 million. But still, I need that millionaire.
Here are some things I expect a man to pay for while I'm dating him or we're in a relationship.
Here are some of my rules for a first date. Give me my rules for a first date.
Number 1, I'm not saving your number in my phone until we're engaged.
Do not take me to a fancy restaurant. Show me your tax returns. Show me your bank statements. Show me your face. Show me your profile.
We're saying no to coffee dates. We're saying no to buffer dates. We're saying no to walks in a park.
I do not accept a coffee or a walk as a possible date option. Show me your body, top to bottom. Do a 360. Those are the requirements for you to come for me. Those are the requirements for you to come for me. Okay, you think I'm joking? It's the actual truth.
A huge percentage of men don't want relationships with women anymore, and that percentage is growing every day. If all men really understood what relationships are about at a biological level versus what modern women expect from men today, and what family court does to good men and loving fathers, I doubt a single man on this planet would pursue one. Biologically speaking, a relationship for a woman equates to safety, security, and provisioning. Falling in love is a deep-seated biological craving to bond with the highest value male possible, that nature bestowed upon women as the physically weaker gender, and the gendered nature charged with the decade-long task of caring for a human child from infancy to adolescence. Women needed such bonds to survive until the last few generations. Men don't have this need the way women do. While evolution programmed women to bond and nurture, it programmed men to achieve and protect. We didn't get to be attractive men by prioritizing relationships with women. A relationship for a fully mature man, attractive and successful enough to have options, is an entirely different, much more practical endeavor. Emotional attachment still plays a role, but it is comparatively minor. Until very recently, a relationship was more or less a structured interview for marriage, which in turn was an enforceable contract and a prerequisite for sexual access to women, and necessary for social stability and the survival of the family unit. Marriage is a cultural adaptation, not a biological one. Evolution favors variety. Deep in our unconscious brains, we are programmed to repel each other. There is no historical, contemporary, or biological evidence to suggest otherwise. Civilization, however, requires rules, especially rules governing procreation. Marriage was the cultural adaptation that allowed us to escape a Pleistocene-era existence and build complex civilizations. It was a set of rules, constraints, and expectations. A man used to willingly take on the burden of providing for women. We accepted the inevitable sexual stagnation that occurs in all relationships. We never wanted the relationship, we endured the relationship. We did so in exchange for the things we value. Men value sex, children, our own, not another man's, peace, respect, and gender-based household economy of scale. That's pretty much it. Before technology allowed us the luxury of leisure time and the opportunity to believe in the absurd fairy tale of a love-based marriage, people rationally understood that marriage was a practical endeavor and necessary for the well-being of children and society. It was enforced. It was something society demanded of both genders for the good of all. Equally important for us men, marriage used to give us ultimate decision-making authority as the more rational gender, thereby providing us with a reasonable amount of assurance that we would receive a return on our investment in you. All that has been dismantled, disemboweled, and eviscerated. No-fault divorce and child support laws have destroyed virtually all the value that men used to derive from relationships and marriage. No-fault divorce removed the element of trust from the contract for men. When marriage was an enforceable contract, men could trust women, or at least trust you enough to invest in you. Marriage doesn't take effort or presence, or communication, or healing your inner child, or any other such nonsense. It simply takes realistic expectations and shared purpose and enforcement. That's the entire purpose of marriage. When divorce became optional for every woman, at any time, and for any reason, marriage and family became risk prohibitive for every man. It is that depressingly simple. A modern relationship, at least how women believe it should be, is exactly what we don't want, and never want. It's the chaff, not the wheat. It's a biologically impossible expectation. It's the endless nagging and complaining, and bids for attention. It's the sour, ever-present taste of disappointment in the air that oozes like sweat from a woman's pores. It's the impossible task of being somehow responsible for your happiness. It's the exasperating drama you create to feel connected to us and test our manly qualities. It's the nauseating dread of having to be spontaneous and romantic on every stupid anniversary and idiotic holiday and date night. It's enduring visits with your family every holiday season that is about as pleasant as having bamboo shoved under our fingernails. It's wasting our precious weekends shopping for useless junk or traipsing around a brush field with a photographer wearing douchey-looking outfits to take cringe family portraits for you to post on your Facebook page to impress all your friend enemies and publicly revel in your subjugation of us. It's the squandering of time and money on effeminate, idiotic nonsense in a futile attempt to keep you entertained as if we were a circus animal on a leash, performing tricks on cue. It's enduring a woman's illogical, erratic, irrational behaviors and outbursts and decision-making. It's being reduced to little more than a mule and having to plod along slowly and silently toward the grave with a malcontented lunatic astride our backs while we watch our childhood dreams disappear over the horizon. It's the soul-destroying realization a man comes to once he's married that he's been bamboozled into signing what has become the worst contract in the history of contracts. And now the rest of his life is doomed to resemble an endless audition for the lead role in some buffoonish high school musical that only the gay adolescent boys would enjoy performing, and should he fail, all his life's dreams will be destroyed and his children will be taken away. Being married feels like being endlessly fed upon. It feels like pouring your soul into a hole in the ground with no bottom. It feels like being locked in a prison with a psychotic cellmate. It feels like sucking dog shit through a straw on a stage in the town square, wearing a clown suit while being sexually violated with the barrel of a gun pressed against the back of our heads with all our family and friends watching. It's hell on earth. It's slavery. It's a living death. I've lost track of the number of women who've told me they love me. If I hear the words, "I love you," from another woman, I think I'd crawl out of my skin. All the things that biology shaped us men to be for untold millions of years are now obsolete because of the technological innovations that men have created. Now all that's left for us to do is entertain you. Endlessly. At the expense of our dignity and freedom and goals and hopes and dreams and hobbies and friendships and alone time and everything else that gives us pleasure. With a proverbial gun to our head, if we're stupid enough to sign a modern marriage contract. A gun which you have a 50 chance of using on us anyway, no matter what we do for you. To hell with that. All a man can do is protect himself accordingly. You, collectively as women, have hunted the good men to the brink of extinction, while at the same time unwittingly turning the dating market into a sociopath's paradise. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. Well, now you can have cock. You can have all the cock you want. You can literally have mountains of cocks. But millions of you no longer get any cake. Reap what you sow. That's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.